Hello and welcome to JN CareerApt. This is Nitya Natrajan. Today's guest is Ms. Shivika Bhatra, a certified career counselor, psychometric expert, and English language trainer with vast experience across school, college, and corporate settings. She has mentored students and professionals alike, empowering them with essential skills like communication, time management, and career clarity. With a deep passion for student development and global education, Shivika continues to help learners discover their strengths and become future ready with confidence and purpose. Welcome to the podcast series Future Ready Students Insights from Education Leaders.
Thank you so much, Nitya. It is my pleasure that I've been the part of this journey. And maybe in my podcast, I'll be able to enlighten some students to get a good guidance and to how to take forward their career path.
Sure. We're looking forward to it. Okay, so to start with, Shivika, as you have said, you have worn many hats from career counselor to English trainer. So, how do you see these roles coming together to shape future ready students?
Absolutely. So I think both of these roles are interconnected somehow, right? I started my journey as a counselor, then I shifted my domain to being a trainer because I think being a career counselor and a trainer are the part of the same coin. They're the both sides of the same coin because one is empowering students to take a right direction or a career path, and one is building them up to how to express themselves properly. Because we can see students, they have ample amount of knowledge. We have seen them that sort of knowledge maybe during their school days or maybe during their college days, but what actually happens is that they're not able to express it properly. So guiding to doing what they actually want to do, and of course building up their skills on how they can express themselves properly to be a professional, to be a career ready person. So I think these both domains are very important. One is actually building them up for the self-awareness, like what they should do, understanding their strengths, understanding their weaknesses, understanding their values, their skills, maybe whatever they can have. And the other one is building the confidence. It is making a person future ready or a world ready or an industry ready person, because in whatever domain you say, like the communication skills is very, very important. So I think that makes a person stand out of everyone.
Right.
So both the careers and both of these profiles have really helped me a lot in building up my students fully on a full-fledged basis, so that whatever they want to do, whatever they are ready to do, they are happy to go for it with a full confidence.
Right. That's great. So you worked with both high schoolers and professionals as well. So what do students today need to start early to be career ready by the time they graduate?
As I work with both the professionals and the high school counselors, I have observed one thing, that the ones who thrive later are the ones who start early. Because it is not just a part that after 12th or maybe whenever we are in 12th standard, we have to decide what we have to do, because I think that's a very later stage when you are deciding.
Correct.
The exact career journey starts from when you are in grade 9. You need to understand what are you really good at, because see, these days profile building is very important. Until and unless you not have that strong profile, none of the colleges are going to accept you. A full good tier 1 colleges, right? So in the initial stage of their schooling, maybe you can say 6, 7, then 8, we should help the students in building up their confidence, so that they can speak properly, they know what to speak, how to speak, they can carry themselves properly. But when it comes to class 9, that is the moment when students have to start realizing now this is a high time, and they have to start building up their profile slowly and gradually, because everything may not happen at the same time. You have to take out some time to build it up. So in my school also, at the last international also, I usually take sessions from grade 9 to grade 12 onwards, and grade 9 to grade 12 तक के लिए I have a different kind of chapters, you can say, or the sections to be involved. Like starting from grade 9, I know that grade 9 के students को मुझे ये बोलना है कि it's a time that you have to open up your eyes. It's not like you are still in your teenager years. You might be in your teenage years, but with the thought process of doing something later in the future, this is a high time that you have to start building up yourself. So I push them to go for certain certification courses, I have started the internship program for the students here.
Mhm.
You know, maybe if a student is interested in some video editing course, right? So we have done a tie-up with a firm named as Yuva.
Mhm.
So this is one of the organizations that provides internship to the high school students, and I found it very interesting because
Mhm.
students need to have that reality check done,
Right, right. The real world
right?
experience.
Exactly. So if the student is interested in like video editing course, so the student is going to get the training for maybe 15 days. After the training is completed, then student will be, will have to give an interview, and he or she will be getting selected by any one of the firms which they have tie up with. And
Mhm.
student has to work for that particular organization.
Okay. And actually do the video
And
editing for them.
yes, yes. And this summer vacations, I had 14 of my students from grade 9 to grade 11 who participated in this internship program. And they came out really well. I mean, they had such a great experience. And now they're asking me, ki, next kab kar sakte hain, next kab hoga. Now I'm planning for the international internship for them, like Dubai, Italy, or Japan, so that
Right,
they can get that international exposure also. So
right.
I think this is very much, to be inculcated into school. It is not just a part of the counselorcy. I mean, it is a part of the entire school. Because I can spend some amount of time with the students, but I think the other school people, like the teachers or maybe the matrons who spend maximum time with the students, they have to get a thing created in a student, like a kind of self-awareness part
Right,
that
right.
somehow or the other, maybe in a casual manner, maybe in a formal tone, you will it is a part of everybody of us that we have to get that student ready to face that whatever industry that person is going to enter. So the person has to be ready to prepared for it. So I think profile building starts from grade 9 onwards, and as and when somebody realizes it, it is going to be a very much beneficial for them for the later on journey.
Right, right. So career guidance should be like a comprehensive program. It should be inclusive and not like you have a career
Yes.
counselor and you build your profile and all that, which is, it's not separate from your education. It is actually a part of it. So it has to be a
It should not,
comprehensive career guidance program, right?
absolutely, it should not be taken as an option.
It is essential.
Because during my time, I remember that there was no concept of career counselor,
I know.
right? And we were not aware of what we actually have to do. And there were just few limited courses that actually rushed up during those days: BBA, BCA, BSc,
Yeah,
engineering,
but
law, or maybe
very few.
MBBS.
Yeah.
And that's why it took us a little longer to get into this journey.
Hmm. You're right.
So, for example, if we started from grade 9th onwards, so you can just experience that if a student actually follows a proper pathway, malab, I think by the age they reach 25 or 26, they must be, malab, they have must have reached to that level, jahan tak abhi hum abhi pahunche hain.
Yeah.
So
True.
I think
So
that pathway is very important.
well said. Well said. Right. So, as a certified psychometric expert, how do you help students understand their strengths, and how can parents support the self-discovery journey at home?
Okay. Yes, parents' role is very important. I wanted to get into this part because I've been facing this, in terms of the students and the parents' connectivity. I can completely understand that the students and the parents are all from the different generation.
Mm.
Parents needing to understand the student would be a little kind of difficult, and student understanding the parent is again kind of a very, very stubborn journey, you can say.
There
And
is
we
a
as a counselor,
generation
we have
gap, so
to,
the
yeah.
communication gap increases.
And
It's
we as
very
a counselor, we have to sail on both the boats.
right,
We
right.
have to be with the parent also, we have to be with the student also. So I think in the psychometric assessment test, you get a validity. I mean,
Mm.
validity in terms of um, as I have a psychometric assessment tool. It is a kind of a scientific tool which assess students on the different parameters.
Mm.
For example, their way of learning,
Mm.
which mode of learning they actually is more inclined towards. Is it auditory? Is it visual? Is it like the kinesthetic learning? And yes, other ways is like understanding their personality traits.
Mm.
You know, At times we are not aware that what sort of personality traits do we have. Are we like extrovert or introvert? Are we like intuitive or maybe sensing or maybe thinking personality? We are not aware of that. So that report actually gives you that assessment. Another thing is they will be assessed on the basis of their skills. Verbal ability skills, numerical ability skills, leadership skills, mechanical skills. So they're going to be assessed on the skills. Then the career clusters. And after that, we get a full-fledged report on which career option can be good for students. It is not like the student only has to opt for that option. But
Right.
based on the skills and interest of the student, we give them a proper profiling. Okay, if you go for this option, this can be good for you. If you go for this particular option, this could be also good for you. But that is entirely students and the parents' choice. And for the parents, I would rather say that don't push your students or you don't push your kid to just go to that similar pathway which other people are opting. We should not aim for perfection. We should aim for exploration.
Right.
Exploration is the key, not the perfection. Ask your kids some random questions because you have to build that bonding among the students. Because see, in my experience also, I've seen that maybe student wants to do something else and the parents are like, nahi, 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 ye nahi karna. Maybe you may not have a good future in that. That is
And
not the case.
more financial stability is one of the major points they come up with.
Exactly.
You know, this career is not going
Exactly.
to give you any kind of financial stability.
Exactly. And that is because we haven't explored it. It is not just कि MBBS वाला बच्चा ही perfection में जाएगा. No. The person or maybe the student who can opt for the different option, maybe somebody has opted for the designing field, maybe that student can do better in that. Why to push and why to force the students to go for something which you wanted to go to?
Right. Right.
है ना कि
Forcing
मैंने नहीं किया, चलो मेरा
parents' career aspirations on students is another, important issue that we have to handle on a day-to-day
absolutely.
basis.
So, in fact, I'll tell you one of the examples. I had one of the students, and she opted for PCMB plus psychology in her grade 11th and 12th. And when I interacted with a student for the very first time, so obviously we are counselors, we can get that vibe of the student. If the student is really comfortable, she's a little hesitant or whatever she is. I got it from the person. So I asked the first question, my first question to her was that, why did you offer PCMB plus psychology?
Psychology, right.
And of course, I got the answer without her saying anything. It is because of the parental pressure. And after that, her parents were forcing her to get into engineering, and she scored only 50, 50, 50 in all the subjects.
Okay.
And when I took a psychometric, anyway, before even taking the psychometric, I actually assessed that she was a creative child. She was not somebody into more of theoretical knowledge. Ki is logic ko dekho, is logic ko dekho. She was a free child and was much inclined towards a creative part. So I suggested her courses based on that. And also when she appeared for the psychometric assessment test, the report she got was again based on somewhat designing or the creative field. But the parents were not really happy with that.
Okay.
So that's my question, Mala, why do you have to send a student to a field which you know कि वो बच्चे को stress हो जाएगा, वो नहीं करेगी. Forcefully, बच्चा कुछ नहीं कर सकता. आजकल के बच्चे are very मतलब very kind of delicate people. I mean, we have to understand them. I have a quote कि हमने see, our child is like a tree, right? हम उनको nourish कर सकते हैं. We can just हम उनको nourishment, whatever the child requires, we can provide that. But हम उनके stem को अपने हिसाब से grow नहीं कर सकते.
Yeah,
So
we
same
can
as
only nourish the child with water, extra minerals, and everything that the tree
exactly my
actually
point.
requires. But you can't tell an apple tree grow mangoes for me. No, it's not going to grow
Exactly my
mangoes for
point.
you because it is an apple tree by nature.
Absolutely. So that's my concept for the parents also, to be with the kid, understand them, try to explore them, and also help them out in exploring the different career options. You have to be with the kid. You just don't have to tell them कि यही करना है. Just be with the kid. Just be a supportive system for them, and they'll be doing everything whatever they want to with a much stress-free notion, because आजकल के time पे stress, depression, everything is there, anxiety is there, everything is there. So to get student out of that part, we have to be with the kid.
Right. So when parents provide that safe environment for students to explore and figure out what they really like or what they really don't like, that gives them a lot of clarity and, of course, the confidence to move further in their career journeys.
Absolutely.
Child comes to the parent and says like, "Oh, I want to become a YouTube influencer because I can make lots of money." Instead of telling that child, no, you can't make so much money by being just another YouTube influencer. If you allow the child, okay, you try for 6 months, when you're in class 9 or class 10, okay, you try for 6 months, start a YouTube channel, share your content and see how it is growing, how many subscribers you have. You are allowing the child to explore. So once the child goes through and does that actually in real world, the child gets the experience and the child will definitely understand that this is, not going to be the main career path for them.
Absolutely.
That's what I tell parents. So that gives
for the
the
child
child
also
understanding, where you don't have to force the child to accept or, your decision.
Exactly.
The child will actually experience and understand that this is not going to be my main career path. And in case the child succeeds doing that, well and good. The child is going to make lots of money like the other top YouTube influencers.
And they are doing it. I mean, you have seen kids, they are actually making money out of this YouTube and all that.
I know.
But that's happening. So we have to थोड़ा सा push करना पड़ेगा बच्चे को, थोड़ा सा supportive, you have to motivate them. So that's the support system that they need. And how and when you want to make a student understand, they can easily understand whatever you are saying if you are with them. Otherwise, they'll feel like कि नहीं अपने ही बोलते रहते हैं, and and I don't want to listen to them.
Yeah. So once that trust and communication is built, that rapport is built with the child, then when the child will definitely listen to your suggestions.
Absolutely.
Great. Okay. So Shivika, you've trained engineers and corporate professionals in time management and soft skills. So please share with us what lessons from the workplace should schools start teaching?
Okay. First of all, school, see, I'm already working in a boarding school. So I think boarding school, the concept is actually clear. They have a proper schedule and everything. So time management, but they need to understand that time management is not just about the schedule. It is more about that. It is about finding a realistic goals. It is about students understanding the depth of everything. If I have to compare a boarding school and a day school, obviously the concepts are very, very different. Here we have students who stays with us, who are like a family to us. Right. So that's a very, very different thing with them. And they actually follow proper schedule. But apart from that, I think time management, they know how to do it. At times they feel a little pressurized also. But when they come to me, of course, boarding school is a place where you have this opportunity to become a little stronger, rough and tough banne ke liye. It is not because you're out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, and it is a structured learning environment, Even after school, you are still following a certain schedule or structure. So you can't afford to waste time, and you're not allowed to waste time when you're in a boarding school.
Actually. And even if any parent comes for the admission and the student is not ready, which jo hote nahi hai, khaskar class 11th and 12th ke bache, like the elder ones, they are not ready to be a part of a boarding school because they already have their comfort zone at home. They are not really acceptable to changes, to adaptability. So I always tell the parents ki, boarding school experience is a must. If you have that experience of a boarding school, I think student can actually grow a lot.
Yeah.
2 साल का experience हर बच्चे को होना चाहिए boarding school का.
Yeah.
They can be a disciplined person, they can be an outspoken person, they can be a good decision makers because they are not with you.
Yeah. More independent.
That hand holding is not there. So they can be a good decision maker in those cases. Communication, yes, I think communication starts with not just being a speaker. It starts with the everyday general talks. We are not making students as a speaker here. We don't want them to be speakers, but we want them to actually stand on their own and say something, express themselves confidently. So that is what all communication is about. It is not just about English mein communicate karna. It is all about in whatever language, you have to be expressible. You have to communicate it properly. In fact, in the IELTS exam also, when we usually have a speaking section also. So there's one thing I always suggest my students, don't be like a reporter. You know, आपने कुछ memorize कर लिया and you're just saying that particular thing. No, you have to speak naturally. That intonation has to be there in your tone.
Correct.
For example, अगर हम कोई गाना सुनते हैं, we have never seen the video of that song, but when we hear the song, we can actually get the song is a happy song or a sad song because of the expressions of the singer. Same is the case with you. So whatever you have in mind, whatever you have in thought, you should be able to express it. Otherwise, that knowledge is of no use.
Correct. Correct.
So that communication has to start from the very young age only. And it is not just about that you have to go to the stage and you have to say something. Just participate in every event, in whatever you think you can take place, be it a debate, be it an MUN. Explore outside your school. You know, there are going to be TED Talks. In fact, in our school, we are going to arrange for a TED Talk for our students.
Okay.
A youth one. And it is only just because we want our students to face that stage, to stand there. And to see how well you can do.
Fear and nervousness.
Yes. And how well you can do.
Right.
So yes, schools may, if we keep on arranging these kind of events, so I think it is going to be really beneficial for the students to build that strong communication skills. And for the time management, I think all the schools are doing pretty well, but for the day scholar especially, yes, the parents have to come into the picture to a certain extent, and schools should keep imbibing that thing from the very young age to the students. Not just about scheduling your task, but about, you know, like the setting some goals, whatever you have to do, making a roadmap on how you have to reach there. It has to be smooth.
So time management is not just about following a schedule. It's about setting realistic goals and breaking down those goals into short-term goals and being consistent in achieving them.
Yes, absolutely. Consistency is the key.
Discipline is the key. You know, like you were talking about boarding schools. I've been in boarding schools from class 11 till I completed my studies, you know. And even after that, I worked in a residential school for like 7.5 years. So almost like 14, 15 years I've been in a residential setup outside home. And trust me, all the skills of communication or time management or good decision making, you know, adaptability, flexibility, teamwork, almost all of these skills that we are talking about today, the future ready skills, I have truly learned when I was in a boarding school. Because
same here.
as you said,
I have never been a part of a boarding school, but with this working environment, obviously I've worked with the different boarding schools. So I've learned it like all from here, from the students.
Correct.
I mean, how they carry themselves well, how they actually define themselves. They're so confident. I mean, I actually learned from them.
Right. And you were talking about making decisions, because when you are with your parents, like you are in your comfort zone, and mostly they are overprotective and they make all the decisions for you. But when you are in a boarding school, you have to make your own decisions almost on a daily basis. You know, whether I do this or do that, you know, during study hours, do I really study, or do I pretend that I'm studying? All those are little important decisions that you make for yourself, which is going to add up to your consistency and your discipline and your long-term success.
Absolutely. This is very, very important. ये हम parents बहुत मुश्किल से करते हैं कि हम अपने सामने, if our child is taking that decision, we don't really accept it. A lot of times that happens, not everywhere, of course. But in a boarding school, like students get the chance to take their own decisions, and that's really important for them, because that's only they are going to gain that confidence.
Right. Absolutely. So Shivika, with your experience in international education and IELTS training, because nowadays most students are aspiring to study abroad. So with your experience, what advice would you give to parents of these students?
Okay, so international education is really in a boom these days. I mean, a lot of students I've been saying they're going for their higher education abroad. And from my school also, I've seen a bunch of students are moving abroad for their further studies. My one important advice to everybody is that plan early. So that whatever steps have to be taken, it can be done all smoothly. You know, because going abroad is a very lengthy procedure. You need a lot of documentation. Students might have to appear for the different tests also. They might get their test scores, and then application, shortlisting the courses, shortlisting the colleges. Everything takes time, so you have to plan a little early. And also, whenever you're planning to move abroad, your profile building is very important.
Important. Correct.
And this is not going to start in grade 11th or 12th.
Mm. Mm.
So it is going to start in grade 9. Even if you're applying for the colleges in India, make sure that you have a strong profile. Right. So I always tell my students as well as the parents to push their kids to, indulge in some social activities, to indulge in some certification courses, to get their hobbies, to do something in sports, either hobbies or in whatever like the domain they want to do it. But having a profile is very important. And of course, in a boarding school like us, we have a lot of labs, a lot of kind of like the clubs for the students, a lot of sports for the students. So they get a chance here to explore that hobbies, that plays, that sport, and it is easy for them to do that profile building because they are getting that opportunities here. Like now we have a tinkering lab, we have a lot of sports, football, taekwondo, horse riding, swimming, whatever the student wants to go for. Then we have 9 different types of clubs. So obviously, student get a chance here. And again, for the day boarders also, I would rather request the parents as well as the students, both of them, to whenever you get a chance, because you might be also having a very, very hectic schedule. And then after the school hours, you might have to go for certain activities. So please try to take that seriously, because that is really going to get them out. Then make a focused decision on the finances also. Finances, again, a very important parameter whenever a kid is planning to move abroad. Another thing is that help out the students in living independently since starting. Thoda sa unko ek aisa, you have to give them an edge so that students can take some independent decisions. They can start living a little independently, because anyhow, when they move abroad, they have to live on their own and they might have to face challenges. So we have to be open with that. A very important factor is the communication and speaking in English, because it has to be accepted that English is a worldwide professional language. So if you are moving to any part of the world, we have to be very, very much fluent in English. Not just while giving the test like IELTS and TOEFL, but again, for the classroom experience to live, even there, so you need to have that good command over the English language. And even for the test preparation also, I always suggest them that SAT can be given when you are in grade 11, because SAT has that, like the test score card can be valid for around 5 or more years. And IELTS is again valid for 2 years. So you can again appear for the test in 11, because 12th you have your boards.
Yes.
So that preparation time. Exactly. So it is always better to appear for this test when you are in grade 11, so that in 12 you are a little free out of all this and your application can go on smoothly.
Right.
So these are the certain advices I would like to give to the parents as well as the students on the same grounds.
Yeah, Shivika. So you were talking about how important communication skills is. It is the key in every field, not just for students aspiring to have some careers in public speaking or in English language. So how do students improve their speaking and writing skills in school, regardless of what their career goals or aspirations are?
I think so. Listening is one of the habits that they have to follow, because as we were a child, हमने हिंदी कैसे सीखा? Because हमारे parents बोलते थे, and that's how we learned the language. So English के लिए भी you have to be a little more proactive towards the listening part also. You can listen to podcasts, you can listen to news, you can even watch series, you can even go watch for certain movies as well. So whatever your comfort zone is, you can go for that. Whatever is applicable for you, but listening is important. Speaking के लिए, in whatever way you are speaking, if you don't have that fluent English, it's okay, but speak. Make errors. People are here to rectify you, but make errors, but speak. Include short talks in your daily conversations. Include short talks in your daily conversations. Not much of the people are really fond of reading as a habit. But reading is again an important habit. But I usually suggest my students, it is not that, I'm not going to force you to read a very, very lengthy articles, but whatever you're interested in, हम post भी तो पढ़ते हैं ना Instagram पे. आप वही छोटा सा article पढ़ लो. Enough. But get into a reading habit. Even reading small articles, that would go.
Right.
And go for some just try to maintain a personal diary for yourself and write whatever and you have done in the entire day. Just write your experiences so that writing can also get smooth, because
Journal.
writing is again important.
Mhm.
See, I've been training students for so quite long, and I've got students from all the domains, right? Even if I'm going to train somebody like junior engineers who are very much into academics and they have seen all the levels of competitive exams and everything, but trust me, communication was lacking big time,
Right, right.
right? So they have to accept it that these days communication is a very important key. If you have to carry yourself, you have to carry that communication speaking skills ka power.
So it's not
And
about
trust me,
whether
that
you are.
it is not just school's responsibility. It is not just कि आपको school हर चीज नहीं करा सकता. They're providing you an environment where you can learn, but it is
Mhm.
all up to you how you're learning it,
Right, right. How well you
right?
use
Because
that opportunity and
exactly,
expose. Mhm.
even when we get students here, because we have a lot to offer to the students, I usually tell them that we always can't run behind you. You
Mhm.
have to take you. आपको हमारा फायदा उठाना है. Take the फायदा of the school. You utilize the resources properly.
Mhm.
That's what you're getting. That's why you're being admitted here. So अगर आपका किसी club में interest है, go for it, explore it.
Mhm.
Even if you don't know anything about it, go and
Right.
explore something about it.
Yeah, only
So if you're
once you
sitting in
start
front of,
exploring, you'll figure
हाँ,
out whether you like it or not. Just
अगर
try it.
आप 10 जनों के बीच में बैठे हो and you're the most talented person, you're the most educated person, but if you're not able to speak anything, and so I'm saying this because I also belong to a very very small town, and during my days we had just had only one school in my town, and from where we all kids have done our studies. And of course, being in a small town, we didn't get that much of place for the exploration. We didn't explore it much. And then we came to Dehradun as a city after my 12th. And then when I start meeting people, like I always happen to be a participative kid. कि मेरे को कुछ नहीं आ रहा है, अगर 100 बच्चों में से बोला है कि कोई जन आके you have to start it, you have to start speaking on a topic, I would rather get up and go and speak, whatever way I want to speak. So that's how we gain that confidence, and it all happens with experience, not with the bookish knowledge, for sure.
Right, right, right. Agree with that completely. Okay, so Shivika, you've guided many students toward personal branding. Tell us, how early should students start building their profiles and what should they focus on first? Like you were saying, they should start as early as class 9. So even if they start at
Absolutely.
class 9, what should they focus on first?
They should focus majorly on their strengths,
Mhm.
on their interest, on what are they good at. This is the first important thing that a student has to identify, because this is something, if they're going to identify, that is going to help them out in identifying their properly whatever the career options they want to keep it for the further use. Another thing is that nowadays a lot of certification courses are available. You go to Coursera, you go to Udemy, Harvard ke courses hai. A lot of
Yeah.
online courses are available. So I always tell them, as and when you get time, enroll for these courses, maybe during the summer vacations, winter vacations, whenever you get time, but go for certain certification courses in whatever domain you are interested in,
Mm.
because that is going to really help you out in your profile building. Another thing is, of course, we have started with the internship. So internship is again a very important parameter that would be added, because we have already seen that professional work to a small extent, preparing for an interview, then interview hona, then, you are getting selected, then you're working with an organization. So you've got all that glimpse of how the professional system works.
Mm.
So these internships can also add on. Another thing is that they can always go for some summer exchange programs, foreign exchange programs, with the different colleges, universities, because nowadays every single university and a college is doing that foreign
Yeah.
exchange
They're
programs, or
offering
the summer schools.
summer courses, summer schools, right?
Yes, yes. In fact, this year we are planning to send our students to NUS in the month of December
Mhm.
for the summer exchange, and that is going to be a highly important opportunity for them
Right.
to explore
I've never seen
NUS.
it before.
Yes, yes, yes. And apart from that, sports हैं, clubs हैं, hobbies हैं, and any additional courses if you want to do, coding, decoding, programming, किसी भी आपको field में करना है, they can even go for it. So I think ninth is the time when you have entered that zone, which is going to make you a little mature to understand about your strength and weaknesses and perfections, and you can start building on that. If you know your weaknesses, that's really good, because I think everybody has a weakness, but to work on that, it needs acceptance.
Correct.
Open to adaptability.
Mm, mm.
Adapt the situations. Don't be a stubborn child. Adapt karo. हर एक चीज को, हर एक change को adapt करना is important. Until unless you're not adapting to the environment, you are making your own zone, and you are the only person who is going to be the part of that zone. So
It's
be open to
difficult to
adaptability. Be
go out
open
of
to
that comfort zone if you are not ready to
absolutely,
adapt.
absolutely. Be open with the flexibility. Everybody has to be flexible enough. Whatever things can come in your life, challenges accept karna.
Mm.
So that it has to be there in your profile, and obviously contributing to some social literacy programs,
Mm.
because that is again a very important part of the profile building part.
Right. And what about, so we say start profile building as early as class 8. In class 8, you do your psychometric assessment just to see like where you are. That's like,
Absolutely.
you are trying to figure out what your weakness is, what your strength is, what your interests and aptitude skills are, so that it's early and it is easy to build from there.
Absolutely.
Right. But parents
I
have
think
this issues, so when we say you start as early as class 8, they think their children are not ready, they're too young, they don't understand anything. So why is this necessary? Can we take this once they reach class 10? Because that's when you have to go in for your stream
select the
selection.
stream.
So that's the right time, because in 2 years my child will be more mature, and they'll all these skills, they will develop these skills better. So why don't we take them in class 10? And what they really don't understand is that it is too late, because you identify what they
Exactly.
are good at in class 10. You really don't have time to build their profiles. You don't have time to work on their skills or their weaknesses.
Even in this time, when I started with this internship for the students, so everybody came with the different domains. Ki, ma'am, I want to do it in video editing, I want to go for human resources or social media marketing. And in ninth, I'm glad that happened, because some of the students may get a clarity. Okay, I'm not really good in video editing. I might choose some other option.
Right.
They're getting that time period. They're getting that space so that they can realize ki, no, actually, I'm not able to do it, because capability is also very important. It's just not about interest. It is not just about the strengths. It's the capability also, whether you're able to do it or not.
Right. Whether they
So
have
do
the
the
real
internship.
aptitude to pursue this
Yes.
as a career.
Absolutely, absolutely. So they get that edge over something कि ठीक है, अब मेरे पास time है, मैं change कर सकता हूँ. So therefore, starting from an early age is very important.
Right. So that's the most difficult issue to handle. When parents come up with these questions, why so early? Why so
Absolutely.
early? And profile building is kind of a very new term to parents, because they have not done anything like that when they were in school. And most of the unless they start applying for a college, they don't even know that there is something called as an interview or a group discussion after you clear the entrance exam. And what kind of questions or what are they going to ask you during the interview is not only about your academic performance or your rank in the entrance exam. That's just like the entry ticket, to get to that stage. But what they ask you during interviews is like, how passionate have you been about this career? Were you, consistent throughout in following certain
Even
hobbies?
why do you want to opt this career? What is the reason behind it?
Right. How much do you know about this career? What activities have you done before to prove that you have good leadership skills?
Right. If the student is going for some engineering program, it should not be a reason like कि मेरे maths में अच्छा है तो इसलिए मैं जा रहा हूँ. No, that is not a reason. Correct. Your inclination towards that course, why answering that question why is very important, and you should have a logical reason behind it.
Right. Okay, so thank you so much, Shivika, for sharing your experiences and valuable insights.
Thank you, Nitya.
I'm sure this is going to be so useful for parents and students, and also schools to reflect on what kind of decisions or career exploration are they providing for their children or students. So thank you so
Absolutely.
much for taking your
Thank
time
you so
out,
much, Satya.
participating in this interview. Okay, wish to have more such collaborations in the future. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Satya. Thank you.